Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CLSR, and I'm your host, the counselor. Today, we're going to be talking about how you're going to work with this thing called alcohol and its consumption. Basically, how you're going to quit drinking. We're going to talk about it because alcohol is such an important part in most cultures, and we take it for granted today. I think it's just a natural thought in our head that picking up a drink is okay. And I guess in some cases it is. However, when you really look out there and you see people drinking and the effects of over drinking or overconsumption, you'll notice that maybe many of us shouldn't be drinking. And the truth should be told that there are families that don't tell their kids you should not drink because they're into drinking. Some of these kids are growing up in those environments where they feel like they don't have a choice. They watch everybody else in their family drinking, so they decide to pick up a drink. It's natural. But the truth be told, I strongly don't recommend young people pick up a drink. It's sad. I know they want to feel good. They want to relax themselves or party. And I know it happens, and they say it's some of the best times of their lives. However, when you pick up that drink at a young age, I think what you're doing is you're setting yourself up sometimes for some real trouble because especially when you're young, you're going to have those experiences where you're going to go through a lot, right? You're just developing, trying to figure life out. And I just don't think that it helps when we're consuming alcohol. And people talk about controls and how do you control yourself. And well, the truth is, depending on what you're going through, you might overconsume, right? And then next thing you know, you're dealing with some real issues. And even if you're not over consuming, if you're just consuming period, and it's altering your mood, see, everything we do to ourselves, everything we can ingest, everything we drink, right, everything that we put in our bodies has an impact. And I don't think we think about that so much. I think we only think about the consequences when actually we get into accidents, or we get caught by the police, or we get charged, and we have to face some jail time, or if stringent rules get put in place where a license get pulled and you get these DUIs, and next thing you know, your life appears to be upside down because you can't drive around anymore. And yes, it works temporarily. However, there's a machine out there, and we know what it is, right? It's the money making machine. And the money making machine is on full tilt, right? It's out there selling to everyone. And it seems like it's on every corner now. It used to be in major outlets, but now it's on every corner. So more and more people are getting access to it. And I got to tell you, it's a drug. Yes, weed's a drug. Meth's a drug, coke's a drug, heroin's a drug. Well, alcohol's a drug too. And it could be one of the deadliest drugs. As a matter of fact, it is one of the deadliest drugs. However, it's one of our national pastimes, right? So, since we see only a few people getting tore up, ruining their lives, while the rest of us are buzzing and going along just having a fine drink, a fine wine, sitting down with friends. But that few, that's caught, they have to learn. But the ones who aren't caught, they're not learning because they think it's okay. And the thing is once you start consuming alcohol regularly, then remember, you start to alter your thought patterns. It has effects, right? Your health definitely impacts your health, but we don't really think about that because the machine's going on. This propaganda machine, right? These commercials that tell us how beautiful we are when we drink. Now, there are people that have it under control. But what happens is when they have it under control, if they have children and their children are watching them and they don't have it under control, some of the parents wonder why these kids get out of line. And it's because they come from you, but they're not you. So, what we're going to be talking about is basically how to get past this alcohol. understanding how to get yourself sober, right? And what are you going to do to sustain being sober? See, if you're listening to me, that means you want to quit. And that's good. However, the not so good news is that quitting is hard, right? It's a truth that is painful, and one shouldn't sugarcoat it. The great news is that medical technology, integrated communities, and effective psychology and psychological counseling have made it easier than ever to quit. If you feel that you drink too much, there are benefits, right, of sobriety. Preventing strokes, losing weight, avoiding hangovers, and reducing the likelihood of liver disease are only a few, right, that you got to consider in your overall health. And I think when we think about people who drink, we all have some horror stories, right? Some horror stories that we could tell you, like people who we know who've gotten accidents, who've killed other people, and families who've had to deal with it. It's in the news almost every other day that somebody through alcohol consumption has killed someone or themselves or killed hundreds. It's just ridiculous. But if you really are considering quitting and you've actually decided, you know what, I'm just not going to do it anymore, I really suggest that you write down your reasons why you want to quit. And I mean this wholeheartedly. Quitting drinking alcohol is a very personal decision. If you want to be successful, you must be doing it because you are ready and willing to quit. To help you find your reasons, write down why you want to quit. Include any consequences or drawbacks of drinking for you. Include any effects that drinking has on your health, your happiness, or your family. If you start to struggle with quitting, look back at this list to remind you why you are doing this. And I also suggest that you talk to your doctor. If you choose to start the path to recovery alone, bear in mind that alcohol withdrawal can potentially be deadly. If you start experiencing severe withdrawal symptoms like panic attacks, severe anxiety, the shakes, rapid heartbeat, you should seek immediate medical assistance. This condition could potentially deteriorate to delirium tremors, which is deadly if left untreated. See, don't feel like you need to quit alone. You are carrying a heavy burden, but plenty of people, including people with medical degrees, want to help you. It's often easier to quit with the help of medical intervention than it is to try to go cold turkey. Doctors treating withdrawal from alcohol often prescribe benzodiazepine, and this is to help with symptoms. See, the benzo, which includes alprazolam, right, otherwise known as Xanax, right, these are active, psychoactive drugs used to calm anxiety and quell panic. They can be addictive on their own and can be fatal if taken with alcohol. And so for this reason, you should only take them for a short time while being monitored by your doctor. So there is help out there, right? So I want you also to consider changing your attitude about quitting. Remember, you're not being forced to give up a good friend who has treated you well. Instead, you are finally ridding yourself of an enemy. Adjust your attitude so that quitting is made easier. Your better half wants you to quit. Your selfish half wants you to stay the same. And so will the people around you, the ones who there's no way they're going to quit. But this is a personal thing. So I want you to try to pick some significant date to quit. Be ambitious, but reasonable. If you are very heavy when it comes to consuming alcohol, like if you're a very heavy drinker, you must first slow down to avoid withdrawal symptoms. In this case, it's best to have your doctor help you plan your quitting date. Get rid of all bottles, cans, etc. Don't feel that just because you are having guests over, you need to offer them a beer, wine, or cocktail. It is perfectly fine to offer people tea, lemonade, Coke, or some sort of juice, right? Feel your feelings. Cry when you need to. Laugh when you can. Eat when you are hungry. Sleep when you are tired. This is going to be really weird at first, but embrace it. You haven't felt your feelings for a long time. You will have a learning curve. Don't put yourself with people or in situations where you're likely to drink. There's an old saying about playgrounds and playmates. Look at yours. You may need to leave some of your old drinking buddies and watering holes behind. That being said, it can be quite a revelation to find out that the friends you used to drink with were drinking with you only occasionally and were having 2 beers or 2 glasses of wine to your 5. So I don't want you to do anything you don't feel you're ready to do. If you're going to the beach, it is a time when you drank a lot, right? Don't go this year. If right, like if going to a certain friend's home for dinner is a time when you drank a lot, get a rain check this time. Protecting your sobriety is the most important thing you're doing right now. Take care of you. Don't worry about everyone else right now. It's not the time to do that. You need to understand and start by reducing your alcohol intake. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're probably not going to kick your habit in a week either. And that's perfectly okay. Small victories beget bigger ones. In the beginning, simply try to reduce the amount of alcohol you consume. Going straight from a heavy drinker to cold turkey is a recipe for physical and emotional disaster. Imagine that due to excess alcohol, you are vomiting and having paralyzing headaches. If you felt this way before drinking, try to summon those memories. The pain you feel is good. It's a willingness to change your habits. And that's the first step. Yes, it is. Even if you only reduce your daily drinking by 1 drink, it's a success. No step is too small at this point. A mistake here is getting comfortable only curbing your drinking by 1 drink. Keep working on reducing the alcohol you consume. Every week, cut down the total number of drinks by at least 1. If you want to be more ambitious, try halving the number of drinks you allow yourself each week. Have food before you drink. Eating a meal before drinking will reduce your interest for drinking. It will also make it harder to get drunk. If you do this, don't kick yourself into letting your body get as drunk as you would have if you hadn't eaten. Although very clever, that's what we call cheating. Drink a lot of water. Water will help you keep hydrated and make you feel better and help flush out toxins from your body. Men are advised to drink 12 cups of water a day, and women are advised to drink 9 cups. Think of that it's like almost 2 liters. I want you to revise recipes that call for alcohol. You know, some of you out there putting alcohol in all your mixes. Want to make a cake, got some alcohol. What's that, rum cake? Or you want to make a beer batter for some fish and chips. Oh yeah, you're sneaky, but see, this is what happens. You keep it up. You keep on this behavior where everything, oh, I got a little cake I want to make. So you add some rum or some gin to some drink that you made for everybody, something to consume. So just remember, you gotta make sure that you get rid of doing all these little things, adding it here and there. This will make it harder for you to justify having alcohol in your house. Use non-alcohol sparkling wine instead, or cut that part out of the recipe. Don't try to explain quitting to people. Most people do not drink like alcoholics do. They cannot understand the fact that some people truly have a problem with alcohol. Of course, there are others who have the problem too. Either way, people will say, you don't have a problem. When you do quit drinking, just say, no thanks. I'll have water. I'm trying to watch my weight. If you hang out with them very much, they'll figure it out and they'll think, good for him, or good for her, or good for them. Make changes to your routine. If you religiously start drinking right after work or when you go home, change your routine to involve another activity. Visit your parents or a friend. A little change of scenery will help break the cycle of addiction. I really suggest you buy a planner and plan activities during the times when you would normally drink. You know what they say. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, right? If you plan activities with other people, it will be harder to get drunk. If you write those activities down in a planner, you'll be more likely to do them. See, don't give up on yourself. This is a process. This could be a long process, but that's okay. You're worth it. Many people will find excuses like, I've been drinking for so long, it probably won't make any difference. Or I've tried so many times, I just can't do it. Some will feel helplessly defeated if they find that they have something highly progressive like cirrhosis of the liver. Quitting drinking can extend life no matter what's going on. How long it extends is entirely up to you. Stop trying to justify to yourself why you are not quitting. Quitting justifies itself. See, remember, you should remind yourself that if you were willing to try quitting so many times in the past, you have the ability to try again. There is no age limit, nor is it ever too late to try quit drinking. Even if the last thing you do is quit, the victory of quitting pays for itself and gives hope to other people. Don't let guilt consume you. Some people will feel a sense of foolishness and guilt over not having done something sooner. Don't pass blame on anyone. Alcohol is the enemy. It has been whispering in your ear and telling you that it's more important than anything else in your life. There is nothing more important than you. You are of no use to anyone if you die. Hence, you must overthrow the oppressive rule of alcohol and start fresh, just as any country in revolution. Feeling guilty is only half of the equation. If you're just getting sober because you feel guilty, you're getting sober for the wrong reasons. You should be getting sober because you care about yourself. You care about the happiness of your family and friends who care deeply about you, and you care about leaving an impact on the world. Guilt is only half the reason you should be quitting. Now, you're going to have to buy a sober wallet. Whenever you think about buying a bottle or a drink, put that amount of money in your sober wallet. It will literally shock you. Staying sober is all about seeing the tangible benefits of sobriety, which we too often don't get to see. Getting a sober wallet will help make those benefits more tangible. Use the money in your sober wallet for healthy stress relief. Get a massage, visit a day spa, join a yoga class. If you're not into those things, buy yourself a healthy distraction like a CD box set, like a new set of furniture or some gifts for your friends. Or go get your makeup done, get your hair done, right? Or get your hair did. But do something good for yourself. You know, take a little trip downtown, go to a little restaurant, have a little meal. Don't consume some alcohol. It's going to change how you feel. No, I want you to do that, right? Buy a small piece of inexpensive jewelry as a reminder of your sobriety. Get a ring or bracelet or henna your hand, right? You know that little design that they put on the hand looks like a tattoo. It's only temporary, but it's a good reminder that, hey, I'm out to do some good. Indulge in a special manicure to remind yourself that your hands no longer buy or touch alcohol. Take a B vitamin supplement daily. Be sure to start this for your first week of sobriety. Alcohol affects the ability of the body to absorb these vitamins, specifically thiamine. Deficiency can cause severe cognitive impairment, including the Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, or otherwise known as wet brain. I just can't even explain how writing down things and imprinting them in your mind is important. Make lists. Without involving alcohol, make a list of ways to do all the things you did when you used to get drunk. Make a list of ways to celebrate. A list of ways to have a romantic dinner. A list of ways to relax and unwind. A list of ways to be sociable. Many people live fulfilled lives without using alcohol as a crutch, convincing every fiber of your body that it's possible to make that leap. It's just so much easier. Remember what it is like when you tie one on. If you are tempted, try to visualize what you might look like totally out of control. Do you really want to be that person again? Don't fall into the mindset that you're forever going to be that person. You will forever be an alcoholic, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a happy, sober, and well-adjusted alcoholic. That's your goal. You just got to know that. And I really want you to embrace the psychological benefits of sobriety. Embrace how good it feels to go to sleep at night without slipping into a coma, only to awaken at 3 in the morning with a dessert for a mouth and a splitting headache. Embrace how good it feels to remember the people you met the previous night and to recall their happiness at meeting you. Embrace how good it feels loving yourself for who you are, not punishing yourself for who you have become. It's a good feeling. You're looking for it. You need to feel good about yourself. It's time, right? You're going to have to embrace these things. Remember the reasons why you quit in the first place. Cherish your reasons. There's not always a reason for your actions, but when you understand your reasons, they give you meaning and make you principled. That's a good thing. What are reasons for staying sober? And you got to know some of them, which could include, I never want to miss work because I have a hateful hangover again. Or I never want to embarrass my child in front of her friends again. I never want to be mean. I never want to be ugly to my spouse because I've had one too many again. And I never want to get a DUI. That's life-changing. I never want to get drunk and down my friends and relatives and act like an idiot again. I never want to hide bottles all over the house again. I never want to have to pretend I remember what happened the night before. I don't recall anything after X o'clock again. And I don't want to lose this marriage the way I lost my first marriage to the ravages of alcohol again, or I wonder what it'd be like to feel good again. These are some really good reasons. And if you can, write those down. Yours, what you've experienced. Right? Do not avoid all situations where you would normally drink. Instead, approach them with a good attitude. And remember that you can have a good time without drinking. On the other hand, if you know the temptation will be too great, don't put yourself in a situation where you're likely to slip up. Be smart about your limitations. Everyone has them. Really, they do. Sometimes you think you're in it alone, but you're not. Memorize inspirational thoughts. Memorize a prayer, a poem or something. Like, I know this is going to sound crazy, like a speech, right? To repeat to yourself when you are losing your control. Remember, and reciting it will keep your head together when needed. Just remember, there's some inspirational quotes that you can help calm your thoughts. Like, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. And that's Buddha. Right? You can also do the believe you can and you're halfway there. That's Theodore Roosevelt. I believe that laughing is the best calorie burner. I believe in kissing a lot. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I do believe in miracles. That's Audrey Hepburn. See, I got these quotes down for you people, and that's because I care. I want you to do good. So, I mean, if you want to take one of those quotes, take it with you. Write it down. And when you put it in front of somebody, they'll be like, damn, you're smart. But the point is, that's for you. And I want you to reward your successes. Give yourself a prize for every day or every hour that you haven't had a drink. In the beginning, this makes a bigger than expected difference. Wrap the presents up or don't. It's your call. And give them to a friend or family. Remember, you trust those people and you want them to have it for safekeeping. Check in with your friends when you're completed 1 hour or 1 day or 1 week of sobriety and redeem your present, right? So when you give them that present, say, here, I want you to hold this for me. So go after it. It's motivation. And allow your friend or family member to share in your joy, right? Just let them be a part of it. I do suggest learning meditation. Do meditation regularly, especially in the morning. At the end of the session, vow not to drink alcohol. Remember your calm mind of meditation later when you feel like drinking. It will distract you. Pick up yoga. It will help you deal with stress and calm your mind. Best of all, yoga can be done in a group setting where you can feed off the energy of other people. Embrace the positive energy. Ask for support. It may be the hardest part of your path to recovery. But telling your family or spouse what you're going through and what you're trying to achieve is a huge step. Like it or not, few people achieve sobriety alone, and even fewer sustain it alone. It's really important to have a support system. Don't feel inadequate about telling your family and friends what you're dealing with. Set your guidelines for what you'd like your friends and family to accept. If you're game, ask them to take control. If they see you drinking it, ask them to be, right, your better half and help you get back closer to sobriety. Consider joining a support group like Alcoholics Anonymous or Smart Recovery. Don't feel guilty or defeated. However, if you do not find AA to be a fit for you, it's not for everyone. Most people who quit do so without the help of AA. The vast majority of people who have quit drinking and put that phase of their lives behind them have done so by making a conscious commitment to themselves to stop drinking once and for all and never look back. AA, however, can be extremely effective in helping you stay sober once you've decided that's the lifestyle you want to chase after. See, there are studies out there that say the AA and NA programs, 80% abstinence rate compared to a 20% abstinence rate among non-attendees. That's a difference of over 50%. See, consistency of attendance matters. The more you attend programs like AA, which teach total abstinence from alcohol, the less likely it is that you will relapse. Abstinence programs almost become a routine that members are addicted to, except that this addiction is sustainable and life-affirming. Abstinence programs fit you with a sponsor. A sponsor is someone, preferably not your friend, who you can lean on whenever your sobriety is being threatened. A sponsor should be able to tell you when you're making a mistake and not mince words. Addicts with sponsors find it exponentially easier to stay sober than addicts without sponsors. And watch as sobriety changes your life. After 90 days of complete sobriety, your whole outlook will be changed and your body will be in full recovery mode. You will likely have lost weight. You will likely feel more energized and happier about who you are. You will likely be like a completely different person. Don't be afraid to talk about your experiences. Anytime you feel weak, tempted, or pessimistic, reach out to someone you know you can trust. It's really hard to swallow and talk at the same time, right? I know. Lean on them. Maybe it's a sponsor. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a mom. Whoever it is, learn how to open up to your feelings and overcome them instead of stifling your feelings and never truly dealing with them. You want to be able to deal with them. Once you're ready, share your experiences with other people in need. Maybe you agree to talk to high school children about your addiction and its aftermath. Maybe you write a heartfelt message and post it online. Whatever you do, try to pay all the help you were given forward. Even if you only get through to one person, you've done more than enough. Commit wholeheartedly to sobriety. Admit to yourself and remember it, right? That there is absolutely nothing in your life more important than this one thing. Your life depends on it. All the people you love sharing it. You, yourself, deserve it. Remember that your decision to quit is permanent. Avoid all alcohol. Even just one drink can cause you to relapse back into addiction. Remember, you will be tempted by friends and family members to get into drinking again. And as long as you have these strategies and you start thinking about the life you want to have as opposed to the life that you have, you're making changes because you want to make changes and you know things could get better. And I'll tell you right now, they will get better. Once you start to put your best foot forward, you will see changes. It's not going to be easy, but it's a process that you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to realize that you matter, you want a better life, and it's going to take work. And I really suggest that we get people around us who can support us. If you find that you're around family members that do consume and it's just a part of who they are, like, for example, certain cultures really emphasize the drinking. And it's almost something that they do. And they call it casual drinking, but they do it daily. And if you don't want to be in that circle anymore, then get out of it. However, if you're going to be in that circle, you have to set your standards and you have to let everyone know, I don't drink anymore, right? And still be around, and it's okay. And it's better for you. Your life is going to change. And it's also going to teach you to stand up and assert yourself, right? So when somebody asks you, right, you can say no. And remember, it's going to be like that for a while. They might ask you maybe 10 times, 15 times every time, but eventually they'll tell other people no, they don't drink. And that's okay. It's a beautiful thing. But I just find that when it comes to young people, they pick up a bottle and they don't realize how it's going to impact their life. And somebody, believe it or not, as simple as this sounds, it just doesn't happen in a lot of cultures. They don't say to that young person, you know what? You don't have to drink. You don't have to do drugs. Okay? So don't. But the problem is that they're sitting up there doing it, and they're telling that young person not to do it, but that young person seeing them do it. But you can still say to that young person, you don't have to do this. Even if you're doing it, because a lot of people say, well, how do you get the nerve to tell somebody not to do it when you're doing it? Well, listen, it's an individual thing. But if you want to influence young people, you shouldn't be consuming yourself. However, there are people who drink casually and responsibly. But the point being is that you can still tell a young person, do not drink. You don't have to. Don't do drugs. Stay away. You know, even though your family's doing it, you don't need to. You can make your own choices and go down your own path. So, I got to say some good information today. And it's important that we share this information, especially with people who might be having some challenges and might be thinking of what can you do. And a lot of us, we try to go it alone. We try to deal with some of the issues on our own. And I tell you, it's great to have that in you where you're motivated and, you know, you're committed to yourself. That's the best. However, get some support when you do it. Don't walk alone. Okay? You're not alone. If you're alone, you want to be alone. There's a lot of people that can get out there and get things done, but they don't because they come with these excuses. And I find that in 2020, there's too many people giving excuses for making change. They'll give you the oohs and the ahs, but the truth is they're excuses. So if you're ready to make some change, stop the excuses. Put the bottle down. Don't go to the party. Turn around and watch. And I'm going to also implore you to go to one of these parties and watch how people behave who drink and consume. And you won't be impressed, trust me. Oh, some will feel happy, but others might not be so happy. They might actually start coming out with some of their personal stuff, right? See, some people use it as a way to express their inner turmoil or inner thoughts. And the thing is it comes out wrong. And they say things that they don't mean, or sometimes they say things that they mean. I mean, I've had that happen to me where somebody's using that drug to express themselves and it brings out a lot in them. But the problem is that if you have to drink to do that and you have a lot going on inside you, that drink is not going to help you cope with it because you're not going to be of the right mind. Like, think about it. If you have a lot going on, if you were sexually abused, if you were verbally abused, if you were neglected, or if you lost your love of your life, you're going to need to have your mind on a even keel, which means you can't have no drugs in it. And alcohol is a drug. So think about that. You want to be your best self, and you can be your best self. So people, thank you for listening, and be like the wise old bird and spread the word. Take care.